Welcome to Psionic Aftermath. I am Xenodactyl, your host, as whoever was scheduled to cast is MIA. And we will get underway in just a second here. Yes, okay. Looks like players are ready. We're gonna have a PvT on Acid Plant, and it's gonna be a good one. Fortunately for you guys, I have a pretty good sense of what both of these players are going to do. To Psionic Aftermath. As I've practiced with both of them at some point, so I mean that's the benefit of casting your own clan's games, right? Well, starting in the upper left, as the yellow Protoss representing PsiX, it is PatGadada. I suppose I'll say he's representing EU. And representing NA. Also in clan, of course, as this is an in-clan tourney. It is the Green Terran. It is Dust. Oh, I forgot the overlays. There we go. Ack! No, this is not... Oh my goodness. Off. Is this thing on too? Yes, it is. I am blind. No, that's... No. Okay. We're alive. What is this, a best of 3? Okay. Oh gosh. There. Let's give you guys some music. Yes, Snoopy, I know, Snoopy. I'm fixing it, Snoopy! Ah! Oh, man. Okay, we're gonna get a Zealot first opener coming out of PatGadada. And it's gonna be up against a nice Reaper expand from Dust. Dust has adapted to me doing a Zealot first opener, but Patka and I use slightly different building placement, so we're actually not gonna see a Zealot opener. Just kidding, we're gonna get a double Robo Proxy, because I was not watching the gas at all. So this is actually a really strong cheese, and Dust could be in a lot of trouble. I don't know if he's sniffed this out yet. He might be thinking it's just a Zealot opener, because, like, if he wasn't watching the gas, I may have lulled him into a false sense of security in our many practice games. Reaper is looking for this, actually, and it will find the Robos now, I think. Yes, okay, he knows. I'd like to see a starport go down. Okay, there goes the starport. He is evacuating the low ground. This bunker should be salvaged if he's not going to hold that. And he needs to get, gosh, let's see. Oh, he has some time still, because Patka is going to have to wait for a warp prism. Oh, the warp prism's like right there. Okay. Okay. Things are getting a little bit dicey for Dust already. Fortunately, his high ground bunker has completed, but there's already an Immortal in his base, and it's going to work away at this. Okay, the surround is good, but the micro is as well. Targeting the bunker now, it has some units in it. The Immortal is out of shields, so it will take hull damage if anything. We do have a Viking coming out, and that will allow Dust to shoot away the Warp Prism. So the Viking is out now. And the tank as well. This isn't too bad for, actually losing the tank. I may have spoke too soon. Patka just lost his, Warp Prism, and now these Immortals are falling to SCVs. Citizen's Arrest is gonna, allow Dust to clean up this, initial assault, and I'm not sure where Patka is supposed to go from here. I think Patka may have lost a few too many things, a few too many Immortals. He does still have an Immortal and a Adept to contain Dust for a little bit, but at some point... Okay, another Warp Prism is coming out. Dust is just going to go again, as he is dropping his own Nexus, so he is going to try to transition out of this. So there's something. The bunker was salvaged for Dust. I think he felt like he held, so he actually has to be really careful, because with the second Warp Prism coming out, and the Stalker to defend it a little bit better, giving Patka some anti-air. If this tank falls, Dust could still be in a world of hurt. Like, if the tank and the Viking falls, things could get really ugly really fast, all over again. Resource loss is pretty even, actually. Oh, I like this Banshee. There's unfortunately an Observer, but the idea was nice. Actually, with only one Stalker, it doesn't matter whether he has the Observer. Because Dust only has one gateway of production, and so far it's only produced one Stalker. So this Banshee was a great call. Cloak is gonna be done soon too, and Patka... I'm not sure if Patka is... Okay, he's coming back. Yeah, I wasn't so sure if he could go home. Because, like, how do you defend the Banshee with one Stalker? I mean, I guess by the time you get home you have more. Okay, he's researching Charge. I think that's correct. Because, like... You have to keep being aggressive, and Charge is more aggressive than Blink, I feel. I mean, it was one or the other, right? Okay. That Stalker is going to fall, and as this Stalker falls, this is actually very dangerous for Patka. He has to go home. And with this, Dust is now free to expand safely. He can clean up this proxy. And I think this is just going to be a charge slot all-in follow-up. Yeah, there's the pylons. The gateways are halfway done. Raven is out for Dust. His one of his favorite units, it feels. He wants this Observer, but it's running, and Dust is not going to catch it. But behind this, Dust actually has a third command center. I don't hate it. It's kind of this, like, insurance policy. How? Oh, okay. Storm, gotcha. is Dust... I think Patka is actually trying to... Oh gosh, this is very unfortunate. Does he still have a Warp Prism? Yes, he does. Okay. This Immortal is not trapped forever. Okay. That was momentarily very painful. I think Dust is gonna look to push out soon. With the Banshee, the Raven, he has 3 tanks. He can set up kind of wherever he wants. As long as he gets a good setup, he should be able to deal with whatever follow-up, or whatever follow-up Patka has in store for him. He's gonna push through the center. Patka is also moving out, and that may not... You don't want to fight a Terran with siege tanks up a ramp. So... Okay, yes. Patka is gonna back off, and Dust is gonna probably find a new position if he can. Warp Prism is moving dangerously. Zealots are charging in. That's a good storm. The Raven put in some good work, but this entire force from Dust was cleaned up very efficiently since everything was clumped on that ramp, and suddenly Dust is in a lot of trouble. Charge Lots and Storm are moving across the map. There is a Banshee, but an Observer to match it. Suddenly, Dust, he can defend this if there are no reinforcements. Stalkers are here, though. SEVs are being pulled. There is one more tank. I think Patka has done it. Like, he doesn't have a Warp Prism with this fight, but it doesn't matter. He has too much stuff. There's too much Protoss. I'm not sure why these mules are here, but, okay, Liberators are going to allow Dust to stabilize, but he's lost a lot of SEVs, and he also lost this 3rd base. He's on 1 base now. 1 base Terran with a couple mules that are almost dead. His main is nearly mined out, so he's probably going to have to float that out somewhere else. And probably to his natural, since he already has a gas geyser there. But really, he only has 1 play, and it's to counterattack and win with this army. So the Mine and Liberator are going to have to do a lot of work. He doesn't even have medevac support for his Stim Marines, so they're really only good for 1 Stim, maybe 2. There comes that Stim now, and gosh, that Mine and Liberator did zilch, as the Archons and Stalkers took them out with ease. I really feel for Dust. He defended so well. Like, he held the cheese. He had all the correct answers, and he just wasn't able to punish Patka for his aggressive opening. And like, there were some really good ideas, but Patka's transition and recovery was spot on. And now, as Dust turtles in his main, like, Patka doesn't even need to come up this ramp, but he has the Storm, and it is good. that's gonna lock Dust out of any hope of recovery, and Dust will tap out. I'm gonna get some water. As soon as they queue up the next game. Are we going to start? What is the next map? I have no idea. Not a clue. I imagine it's something standard-ish, but okay. Catalyst. Alright, I'm gonna get water. Be right back. I've gotten water, and let's see here. Oh, Terran Lord gets to play ODY. That is excellent. Just checking the bracket while we wait for this to load in. Currently, Snap is playing against TBA after 2-0ing Baxter. Terran Lord and ODY are duking it out as well. Terran Lord advanced over Clarel 2-1, whereas ODY beat Fluffy 2-0. And Landfear is still waiting for his opponent, the winner of OFE and Sakuno. And here we are, now on Catalyst, and spawning in the bottom right, as the Yellow Protoss winning the first game with something of a comeback transition. It is Pat Gadada. And in the top left, as the Green Terran, can he bring it back from the grip of death? It is Dust. Okay. Okay, now we should be seeing that Zealot opening as... actually, no. Just kidding. It's a standard opener. He's not... not doing anything wonky. Just gonna play a straight-up game, right? There's still plenty of time for, like, 1.5 base cheeses, 2 base stuff. I never know with Pad Guy. He's probably... I actually, now that I think about it, he's probably gonna go for, like, fast blink and kind of play that standard blink robo playstyle. Reaper is going to come across the map for Dust, and he should be happy to see that this is a normal opener from the Protoss. I think that last game may have given him a little bit of frustration in that he started his defense well, but the transition really kind of threw him off a little bit. Reaper is going to barely escape. There's 8 health. And Stalker is giving chase, but... oh, actually it will find the Reaper! Didn't run quite far enough. And that's unfortunate for Dust. He's not going to see the timing of the third with his Reaper. And the Stalker is now free to come across the map, and there's going to be some pressure that... from these Stalkers that Dust will have to fend off. Actually, with only 1 Marine here, he could lose a good... okay, 2 more Marines come out, so he can evacuate. The mine is going to come out, and that will zone out the Stalker for the time being. Unfortunately for Dust, this is kind of showing his hand in that he's going to open with this mine drop. But you do what you gotta do in order to survive. Stalkers are here, and they're kind of trying to figure out where the range of the mine is. They are going to skirt around it, and now the Marines are forced to engage. 4 Marines is not going to beat 2 Stalkers with good micro, so Dust is in a little bit of trouble at this early game stage. Mines are going to reposition, and these Stalkers are really low health, and they will go down to a single mine shot. So all in all, things have been cleaned up. There's now a medevac, and Dust is probably going to pick up those mines and drop. But there's still a Stalker at this front here, so it could poke these Marines, and the aggression could continue. Actually, the Stalker sees the medevac, and that is critical for Patka. He's going to have some Stalkers ready to intercept, and I hope for Dust's sake that he changes direction on this medevac, or boosts in some fashion to get past the Stalkers. Actually, he's nicely found this edge here where he can skirt around the Stalkers on the low ground. There are still 3 Stalkers in the main, so we'll see just how... oh, but they're moving away! And the mines! Close your eyes, Protoss! And there goes some probes. Oh, I guess they didn't put... 8 probes in total go down. Not too bad for Dust. I guess we don't have Game Heart yet. Or this game. There is a Raven, and that is being targeted. But Dust is going to pull that back in the nick of time. SCV will repair that right away. And we're probably going to see a 2-base push come out of Dust. Yes, he does have these extra barracks in production. He is going to switch around his barracks and... what is this, a reactor? Okay, I didn't know this came with a reactor, but see some Marauders mixed into this composition, and Dust should be ready to push out in the next minute or two. These Stalkers are going to just kind of sit at the front. They're just trying to slow down any third, just pick off whatever free Marines they can. They do eat a tank shot, but it does not cost any of them their lives, so all in all, nothing too eventful. We are going to see that gateway explosion start, and 1-1 is nearly complete for our yellow Protoss. Well, this is kind of curious. I wonder if he's anticipating a something by moving his Stalkers to the side like this. Maybe he wants to hide them a little bit. Okay. Okay, Stalkers are going to come in from the side and engage this army. Medevac is boosting out of their range. And the rest of these... Oh, that's where right, he gets mines as... Okay, that's why he has the reactor. So Patka now has a very clear idea of what's going on. He knows that there's a 2-base timing coming across the map. And he's gonna set up for this. Mine is burrowing. That cannon can detect it, though. Okay, well, the cannon is now dead. So these mines are potentially going to be very scary, as they will zone out a good portion of the Protoss army. Scan goes down, sees that there is no observer here, and Dust should be very comfortable to snipe this third. Good use of his Raven to nullify those Archons. And now the Liberators can siege up. I think this game is won for Dust. We'll see if Patka has any last tricks up his sleeve, but things are looking very dangerous. He does have 2-2 halfway complete, but this army is here now, and that upgrade advantage cannot get here fast enough. Storm is not yet done, and the tank and Liberator positioning has encroached on his natural. In just a moment, these pylons will be unpowered, or these gateways will be unpowered as that last pylon falls. Liberator does set up over the mineral line. This is going to be Patka's last defense, and it is not enough without Storm. Dust will take the second game. I imagine our last map will be Lost and Found. That would be the standard. Oh, it's actually Dreamcatcher. Huh. I wonder which of them vetoed Lost and Found. It's not like they're playing against me. Maybe Patka did. I can't see a Terran. Well, I don't know. Maybe Dust did. Maybe Dust was now wanting to put up with cannons in the slightest. I doubt it. He should be comfortable in his cannon defense. Yeah, I really wonder who vetoed Lost and Found. This is not the map I was expecting for a best of 3. I do think that this map, from the playstyles we've seen, I think this map is slightly better for Dust. Like, double proxy robo is not gonna really be an option here. Like, I mean, he might do it just because it worked so well in game 1. It worked so well. I'm gonna put that in quotes because, like, the initial proxy did nothing. Like, for what it was supposed to do, it did nothing. Like, it's supposed to just kill the Terran, right? But, yeah, I don't think Patka is going to use that again. He might have some other... I like this. I want him to just play a standard game off of this pylon. I think that can be, like, not seeing any pylon could just throw Dust for a loop, and that could be an advantage that, yeah, if he just plays a standard opener from this, you know, what I'd even like more so is if he takes his second gas and just doesn't use it. Just take it to make it look like it's that double proxy robo, and really throw, like, sell a story. Oh. Sorry. Thank you, Snoopy. It was bound to happen, right? Okay. Did I even introduce these players? You guys know who they are, right? This is Dust. This is Patka Data. Okay, well... Funnily enough, there's no, okay, there is that SEV scout. Just kidding. SEV does see the natural, but, it's not gonna see the gateway or cyber. I don't really know what Dust may assume off of this. Yeah, that... I don't know. It's a possible mind game. I don't think it will affect anything because, like, there's nothing too weird about this. Yet. Reaper is going to come in and take a look-see. There goes the KDR charge. Probes have been pulled as the Stalker, or Adept, okay, it is going to be a Stalker, is not yet out. But, okay. So far, nothing too eventful, actually. Everything is on a normal course for both players, given, in spite of Patka's funny first pylon. Stalker is going to die to the mine. Okay. Patka is slightly annoyed. Don't blame him. Great positioning on that mine, actually. Just, right where Patka was unable to see, so it walked in range of the mine and ate the shot, and that was the end of his life. Oh man. Well, that double mine drop is lining up, and I assume this time it's not going to find 8 probes it might find 2 or 3. Actually, these stalkers may kill it. Okay, just barely not. And we're gonna see a similar start to game 2. Nothing, no real deviation from either player. Just kind of a little bit different building placement, a little bit better opening for Dust, I would say, to the start of this game. These stalkers are in position though, so things may go in favor of Patka as we enter this early mid game. He's just gonna back off. He might swing around with this medevac to hit the main, or he may just come home and use these mines in his push later. Yeah, he's angling to go over to the main. Stalkers might actually come up to them. No, they're still at the natural. So, good observer placement. Gonna see this drop come in, and as long as Patka is watching his minimap, he actually... I love this. Dust is, like, really being careful to avoid where there should be observers. And that may pay dividends in just a second if he decides to boost in. I'd like to see him drop, as the sooner he can get those probe kills, the more devastating that will be to the Protoss. He also is lacking on some scouting information I'm sure he would love to have, which that drop does provide him. He's gonna salvage his bunker. Actually, you know, he might use this drop right as his main force moves out and is setting up at this location. So this may be... oh, actually, just kidding. Never mind that. Here comes the drop now. It is going to get some probe kills. 10 probe kills, it. I mean, I think I would have taken the 8 earlier probe kills to the 10 later probe kills. Like, it's more probes, but at this stage of the game, I don't think it affects Patka quite the same way as it did in Game 2. Nevertheless, that drop did hit, and as Dust is going to set up at this third base location, he should have some very nice places to protect his tank line. That drop can come back in now, and it will unload its mines. There's only 2 stalkers here, so that's not quite enough to deal with this. More probes do go down. Another 10, in fact. And the Terran force is knocking on this third base. This is looking very good for Dust. There's a lot of Protoss, though. We are going to see those interference matrices go down on that Stalker force. Liberator is here, but a good blink, getting rid of that tank very quickly. The healthy Marauder count is going to make short work of those Stalkers, and there's a window here for Dust. The problem is, he doesn't have a whole lot behind this, and like, he is reinforcing, but that rally has to trickle across the map, and the Protoss production cycle is going to be this nice wave. Plenty of Stalkers and Zealots are back in this fight. Dust is regrouping, but I feel like he's lost some tempo with having to reinforce. Mine is going to try to burrow, but it will get sniped before it does so. There are still 2 Stalkers in the main, but Dust doesn't quite have another prong ready to threatened there. Liberators are resetting, mines are burrowing, and there's a lot of marauders here. So I don't know if there's enough stalkers actually. They are really focusing in on these liberators, but that's a lot of marauders. Mines do expend their shots, so with the Protoss Warpins, maybe something happens. There's actually no medevacs left in this force for Dust, and that could be a problem as his stims are very limited, but the third will fall, and that's going to give some life to Dust all in. He does have a third down, so he's transitioned. This is very winnable for Dust. I think he can just push his advantage, and I think we're going to see something of a minor upset as Dust is itching to claim this game. Oh, nice Liberator right on those mines, or right on those probes. Gonna get himself some more kills. Archons will clean it up. Do we have Storm? I do not know. There's no High Templar to click on. Well, I guess if we don't have any High Templar, we cannot Storm. Okay. Dust is going to stim in, pick off Archon, and Patka will tap out. There is the GG, and Dust advances to the next round. Strong play. Very strong. Good execution of that timing. Yeah, I think a lack of splash was painful. I mean, I think actually more the issue was that it was twofold, because like this build doesn't get splashed till much later, and the way it's supposed to deal with a push like that is the stalkers are supposed to engage the Terran force and kind of kite in order to delay time for either that storm or just more warpings, and it seemed like Dust really swatted down the okay. Hang on. I'll finish that thought in a second. Okay, what was I saying? How the build from Patka deals with Dust to base. Yes, it does, without Storm. Well, without AoE, it has a way of dealing with Terran without AoE, at least till later, in that your Blink Stalkers are supposed to buy time, and then you're supposed to have, like, your observers give you the vision so that you know where your Stalkers are supposed to be in order to buy time. But with the Raven in the build, it's much harder to do this. So that's one of the things I really like about Dust's build, is that he really takes away the ease of being able to use those Blink Stalkers in order to slow down his push. Another thing is, Dreamcatcher is very hard to stop that push on. Maybe this was not the build that Patka wanted for the map, because the lack of AoE is so clear in that build. Okay, it looks like looks like our other semis will not be occurring, question mark? A little bit uncertain of the state of the tournament bracket at the moment, as yeah. Another good point is the Widowmines put in a lot of work, both in the drops and they really zoned out the Protoss force, making it hard for Patka to properly engage, whether it was the tank, the Liberators. Is the build from Dust, I think, favored Dreamcatcher a little bit more than the build from Patka. At any rate, those are good games from both of them, and we should be in our semifinals match momentarily, but just not sure which semifinals we will have, since there seems to be a hiccup in the bracket. I will be right back, as we're probably going to have a short break. Actually, I'm going to throw it to the waiting screen. So don't go anywhere, but enjoy some music. You guys shouldn't be able to hear me right now, but if you can, type 1 in chat so I know that I didn't set this up right. we're back. Okay. Looks like they're doing their vetoes right now. It's gonna be OFE versus Dust. TVZ. I won't be the greatest help, but I'll have a better idea than were this a TVT. Yeah, so word on the street is that ODY was hungry and didn't feel like playing a third TVT. So I am told. At any rate, TBA was given the walkover, and he will be playing in the finals against the winner of this semifinals. So we'll see what unfolds in just a moment. Looks like so far our vetoes are Dreamcatcher, Darkness, Redshift, and 16-bit. So we're gonna get the usual games of Lost and Found, Catalyst, and Acid Plant, order to be determined. Dust is NA West, and options, language and region, set to central, accept, return to game, create mod, game heart. Okay, here we go. Okay, players are ready, starting right away. Alrighty, spawning in the upper left as the Green Terran, representing the... what is he representing? I suppose he's representing the West Coast? Anyway, it is Dust. And in the bottom right, as the Pink Zerg, also in PsiX, representing the East Coast, question mark? At least, it is OFE. So, for those of you that watched the last game where Dust pulled off something of a minor upset, beating Pat Gadada, Um, this is a completely different matchup. I anticipate still seeing a fast Raven, but otherwise, it will probably be a. Looks like OFE needs a pause. Alright. Don't know what that was about, but it's dealt with now, so irrelevant. What was I saying? I expect a 1-1-1 like we saw before, but it will probably be a Hellion opener as opposed to Mines. And then from there, I'm not sure where Dust will take this game, as I haven't seen him play this matchup as much. Reaper is going to come across the map, and third is already down for OFE, so it's not really going to get a chance to deny that. But it can at least pick off Zergling, and these drones are going to have to be a little bit careful, but you can always extractor trick or otherwise make a spore crawler, you know, all those little things. But Dust is actually just going to back off and put his Reaper on patrol at the top of this ramp. I feel like this patrol path should be shorter, but it doesn't matter. Minutia. At any rate, we are going to see that 1-1-1 coming out of Dust. And Hellions to start off. On the other side of things, OFE is getting his speed. His third is complete. Just normal Zerg stuff. No real tech decisions. Get OV speed? I don't think so. And no OV speed. No OV speed. So, just gonna play pretty standard. Hellions and a Reaper are going to poke in, get a drone, and actually they could get some larva. They won't actually, as the lings do pop out. They pick up the Reaper, but good micro will allow Dust to escape, at least with his 2 Hellions. We are going to see that third go down as part of the Terran wall. And there's still a couple Hellions back here for Dust. Good Bolt Viking gonna come out. OFE is going to... I find that very comical. It's like, you know it's going to die anyway, so what does it matter where it goes? It's like, let's run towards death, because at least it's high ground. Oh man. It really doesn't, oh, that was kind of funny. I don't know what was going on with the textiles there, but, yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it makes no difference, as far as I know, but, hey, OFE could know something I don't. That's entirely possible, or it could be a good habit for... actually, you know what that probably is, now that I think about it. It's probably a habit from ZVP, where the Overlord gets pushed away by a hallucinated Phoenix, and so you put it back there because... reasons. Stalker. Anyway, the Banshee is going to come harass. And it should get the queen, and okay, it did get the queen at the cost of its life. Not entirely sure that was the best trade, but hey, it got the queen, and this Banshee, oh my goodness, Pole Viking is going to clean up some overlords as well. So, yeah, things are progressing at a normal rate. Nothing too eventful to write home about. These Hellions are actually going to get caught, and it's a nice pickup for OFE. It will mean that there's no harass potential for Dust until as both the Banshee and the Hellions are now removed from the map. Now we are going to get a 2 medevac drop coming across, and it's angled to hit the main. With those Hellions gone, OFE only has to defend one location. You do see a pair of spine crawlers actually going up in the main, so he seems to be reading this very well. Kind of understands the direction that Dust wants to take this game, but Dust has decided to actually use this to clear creep or shut down a fourth at a normal location, but OFE has expanded along his creep line, and this forward fourth base also indicates that he may want to be more aggressive once it is up. So he may cut drone production if he has not already, and just start pumping out more workers for an attack. Don't know what that was, but it's gone now. Are we gonna see more drones, or are we starting our... Well, he's taken one gas at least. Spire is down. Lings are in production. Oh, this is interesting. I think Dust wants to go up to 4 bases, but I don't know where... Oh, okay, there it is queued now. I was gonna say I wasn't sure where he was building it. We are gonna get that macro hatch coming out of OFE, and a couple more workers. We do have a spire down somewhere, I thought. Infestation pit. Yes, there is the spire. So he does have the option for mutas or corruptors. Probably would be... Okay, though there are 4 mutas in production. And maybe some already out that I may have missed. But Strop is loaded back up. It's gonna run away as it sees the army is well positioned in the main. With the Ravager Ling force there. Gonna run right back out. This creep spread is pretty nice from OFE, really connecting all his bases and getting some preemptive vision of any attack that may come from the Terran player. 4 or 5 mutas are, I guess 4 mutas are here. Gonna start harassing a little bit. Gets 1 SCV right away, and we'll see where else they go. Actually, they do in fact get 2. Marines are coming back, but I think it's just these 4 mutas. I don't think, it doesn't look to me like OFE wants to commit any more to mutas. It's just kind of this, like, hey, I have mutas, you should panic and throw down missile turrets and play defensively. When in actuality, it's just 4 mutas. So, not too much investment from OFE, but getting a lot of just mind game stuff. We do see Bane speed is complete for OFE, and oh, we may... Is he gonna... Okay, yeah, he's coming back. So he's... These drones do not want to be here right now. Oh my. Dust has set up nicely at this would-be 4th. The banelings clear out a good portion of that front Terran line, but don't really get too much of the tanks. Scans are going down. Not really in range of the creep tumors. He should know that there is a fourth at this other location that perhaps was less expected. A good liberator position to zone out a lot of the Zerg force, as there is not a whole lot of anti-air in this composition. Well, if he may have to make some corruptors. He actually does have 3 Vipers that are about to pop, but they're going to need to store up some energy. Dust is putting on a lot of damage in the meantime. He has 1 medevac that should probably be unloaded. Oh, it's going to the main. Never mind. Kind of getting that second prong to his attack. These mutas are harassing this third, but there's only 4 of them. Not going to get a whole lot. Meanwhile, the tanks have positioned themselves nicely on this high ground where they can freely pick off drones. This will force a reaction from OFE. He's going to attack into this Terran army, but all he's able to do is clear these tanks. The bio is fairly well protected, and the Liberator is still alive, so the positioning for the Terran has not really been routed. We'll see if Dust is actually going to move up his Liberator. I feel like OFE is in a little bit of trouble here. He's just running his Zerg Bane through the Liberator zone. Okay, this is not too bad for OFE, as he's finally cleared this Terran force. And maybe as he breaks this tank line, he can really go on the counter-aggression. The mutas have gotten some work, I guess. They've picked off some buildings, sort of. But all in all, this game is fizzling out of the initial Terran push, and there are ghosts on the map now, so we will see Broodlords, but there is an answer in the ghosts. So maybe Dust just pushes again from the front this time, and that would be easier for his reinforcement line. We are going to see some Marauders picking off some creep tumors. Wow, the tank does set up on this high ground. Or tanks, rather. And Zerg is going to have to come in to defend. The Broodlords are getting right on top of those tanks, so really nice. Unfortunate he couldn't snipe those, as I don't think Dust really was aware that that was the transition, as he hadn't really scouted it yet. Banelings are connecting with those ghosts, and suddenly Dust is in a lot of trouble. Okay, he is going to at least clean up some of the Zerg force. He does get 1 of the Broodlords, and the other 3 are going to have to turn around. Viking is this the same Viking that we started the game with? Wow, it has 14 kills. Give that Viking a medal. Now OFE is going to tap out, and Dust will win this first game. Well done. It's really getting rid of that Zerg force, and really good tank positioning to halt Zerg expansion. I think Dust is on fire tonight. Okay, next map is going to be Catalyst. No Sun Lily to mess with Dust. And I guess he's feeling well. I mean, he's been very close to Masters MMR for quite some time. So, on a good day, he definitely can go toe-to-toe with pretty much anyone in this bracket, I would say. Okay, players are ready. Spawning in the upper left, taking the first game, it is the Green Terran Dust. And in the opposing corner, as the Red Zerg, it is OFE. Oh, it's probably the fan. Let me see if I can do something about that. The fan is actually off now. Is it still does it still sound really windy? It shouldn't anymore. So, I guess I'll find out in like 30 seconds if it still sounds windy, since there's a small delay on the stream. Okay. Yeah, we have a large, like, it's a fan that my dad brought home from when he used to work at DreamWorks. So, like movie set fan for, like, yeah. Anyway, it runs through the middle of the house to get some airflow. So it should be less windy sounding now that the fan is off. So let me know if it still sounds windy, because then I don't know where the windy sound is coming from. If that is the case. Anyway, we're going to see that third go down for OFE. Reaper is here yet again. So, all in all, same openings from both players thus far. Kind of just going to see the same game on a different map and see what adjustments both players make for each other. Okay, Lanfear, when you say it's fine, do you mean that the windy sound is gone, or it's fine that it is windy? This was very, ambiguous in answering my question. Oh, man. At any rate, we're gonna see the, Hellions move out again. Did the Reaper die this time? I think the Reaper died. Man, I was... No, the Reaper is still alive. Oh, there it is. It was just over here, and no, over here, which makes more sense that it was back there. Like, where the Reaper was is where it should be. I just looked in the wrong place. Okay. Poking in, gonna harass the larva a little bit, and Dust is going to back out before the Lings come. Just kind of saying, hey, I remember I almost lost my Hellions last game. So I just scouted, saw that things look relatively normal. So I can go home now. We are going to see this Zergling maybe get a free SCV. Not quite free. It will die to the Hellions, but all in all, nothing too eventful. Can't really notice anymore. Okay. Well then. Thanks, Landfear. I'm still not sure. At any rate, third is just about complete for Dust. And there are queens. We still have that Roach Warren, as OFE does kind of need it in case there's like a Hellion push, but we're not seeing like a massive Roach force just yet. I don't think we saw it till like the 4th was down, now that I think about it. Banshee is going to come in. Hopefully this time it does not die to Queen and Spore. Okay, it's just going to back out. And now these Hellions are sharking this way. Oh, Lings. Ah, that's what it is. Okay, Lings are running away. Orbital can land now. Game continues. Life continues. Nothing is new under the sun. Alright, Lings are going to come back in and get themselves a SCV and some nice fresh mules. Mules will run, and 2 Hellions are here to defend this, kind of, sort of, maybe. They do defend it, but maybe that wasn't the most, wasn't quite what Dust wanted. All in all, his mules are alive. They're not mining, but they're alive. Oh, this is painful. There's no more Zergling harass, and the mules are still... Oh, they didn't even get to contribute. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Medevac drop does move out, but the Lings are going to get in. Well, sort of. They die upon entry. It's like, is it a meteor? Enters the atmosphere and doesn't... burns out prior to impact. And we're actually going to see a sizable Ling Bane force come at this natural. It's going to get pretty much everything here minus the tank. Oh my. Ooh, loses all the probes, gosh. SCVs. This is not a Protoss. At the natural. So very nice counter-aggression coming out of OFE. Meanwhile, this 16 Marine drop is going to stem in here, pick off a Queen. And it's going to look for its own aggression on the flip side. And we do see 3 drones go down, but OFE's doing a pretty good job handling this, and with the Banelings and Mutas, oh, if he will stabilize. 4 Mutas was too few. This time we're gonna get 6 Mutas. Perhaps that will give him more harass potential. He did make those Ravagers like he did last game, so his gas is a little bit better, I would say, so far this game. And perhaps his composition can handle Dust a little bit better, as he will have more Banelings, and perhaps he can get like good surround on the Terran force. I still don't know how he's going to deal with the Liberator, though. I don't feel like... I assume the Liberator is coming. Did we not build a Liberator this time? I don't know. Banelings are a little bit indecisive. They don't want to hit the tank, and they couldn't quite reach the Marines. At any rate, Dust is going to set up and pressure this 4th. I think he should get it if he targets it. Banelings are going to roll in towards that Marine line. He does get that 4th, in fact. And Banelings will clean up the Marines that were on the 4th after the fact. Banshee is still alive, barely. But Dust has done his damage. He can go home. He doesn't have to stay here. And he will do just that. There are... some Zerglings harassing, but they didn't really get a whole lot of kills, and the Banshee got some... It's gotten a lot of kills. 19 kills on that Banshee. Overseer will put an end to this, but man, that Banshee did a lot. I'm sure every Terran would be happy if their Banshee got 19 kills every game. I wonder what... oh, there is a Liberator. I was gonna say why he discarded it, but I guess it's just... comes out later than this initial push, or he forgot it. I don't know. I don't know Terran. I don't play Terran. Just play Protoss and sometimes Zerg. And this Liberator's straying a little bit far forward. I don't think it's protected from the Mutas, but the Lingbane Muta is going for the tank line instead, and that's probably more vital to the Terran, but at the same time, Zerg lost almost everything. I mean, both armies have mostly been reset in this attack. There's still enough from the Terran here to push the issue. Like, as funny as that is, it will have to pick up eventually, though. And, Dust is just gonna regroup. And things are looking pretty okay for Dust, I would say. His 4th is landing, and the Zerg's 4th is barely being reestablished now. One more tank is going to come forward. I think that's going to die, though. Good running away, but Baneling's still getting some connections. This tank has... Wow, this tank has gotten a lot of kills already, for being so fresh. It wasn't targeted down, and Zerg is in a very scary position. There's not a whole lot here for FE. I'm not sure how he holds on. Look at this Marine line. It is just really clinging to this cliff here, and with the medevac support, they just don't die. And the 4th goes down again. Meanwhile, there is some counter-aggression. 10 SCVs did go down, so that's not bad. I think the 10 SCV loss feels more like required retaliation to stay in this game, rather than good. I think it must have cleared some buildings here. I just don't know what, and that may also be worth. But Supply is in favor of Dust, and he is up a base, so I'm not sure what OFE needs to do, but he needs to do something. Great advice, right? Oh, this isn't bad. He's getting these tanks before they've unsieged, and he's gonna clear some of it. There's still one tank here. Dust is just really comfortable at this stage of the game, with no cheese or harass to deal with. No, I mean, he has been having to put out some Ling Bane counter aggression this game, and I think that's really done some work for OFE. But these splits, like, the Banelings can't touch Dust, and OFE will give the GG. Okay. So next, we will have the finals. We're gonna see a TVT, so Dust vetoes Darkness, TVA vetoes Redshift, and set it to NA East while they are debating some stuff. Okay, 16-bit will be our starting map for this TVT. I think this is gonna be the hardest one for Dust, not just because it's the finals, but he's facing a Masters 2 this time. No, I do not want to play a Masters 2 Terran. Okay. Dust is ready. Just waiting on TBA to announce his return, and we'll get underway. Yes, Nightbot does not like more than 8 of the same symbol. So if you spam like 9 periods, Nightbot will get mad at you as well. And so it definitely wants to keep your hype in check. Yeah, Dust is doing really well tonight. He's made it all the way to the finals of Masters tournament. Okay, both players are ready. We are starting. Actually, I'm gonna be right back while they load in. Fix some thing. Ow. I tripped on my way back. Anyway, spawning in the bottom left as the... This is orange, right? Yes, okay. Looked kind of yellow, but as the orange Terran representing Europe, it is TBA. And in the top right, on a hot streak, it is the red Terran, Dust. Okay. Dust is going to open with a fast 2 gas, as is TBA. We could see mirror builds. This could be like a double cyclone drop coming out of both players. I think it benefits or works well on this map, seeing as the natural will be harassable. I don't know how else to... Basically, cyclones in, out, in, out. My English is good right now. Me speak well. Me speak good. Reaper coming out for TBA. It's kind of unfortunate. Like, here we are in the finals, and like the story of Dust as he's pulled off not 1 but 2 upsets this tournament, and now he's here in the finals, and it's the matchup that I probably know the least about. Okay, it's all good. We are seeing the same build coming out of both players, at least thus far, and TPA just seems to be slightly faster on everything, like 2 seconds faster. But Dust is... Well, they trade Reaper for... Actually, Dust comes out on top, getting both Reapers from TBA, as he was the defender. So, I guess all in all, early advantage does go to Dust, as things are still pretty mirrored. Yeah, starports. We'll have to look for that point of deviation, but a medevac has started up for both players, and there is going to be that double cyclone drop potential anyhow. Reaper does come in for Dust, the one Reaper that did survive that scary first encounter, but it will die now. No, it does get away. Wow, okay. All the luck going to Dust this game, or today, tonight, whatever. Whatever time it is, wherever you are, it's dust time. Alright, we are going to see the 2 medevacs go out for both players. TBAs will arrive sooner. As has been the nature of this game, his timings on everything is like that hairline faster. And he's going to get the harass off. Getting those 4 SCVs of Dust. And Dust is going to look to even the worker count. He does lose his defensive Cyclone. And the Marines will have to go back in the bunker. 1 Cyclone from Dust does go down. But 5-6 workers going down for TBA. This Viking is kind of shooing away the medevac. Meanwhile, this Cyclone does fall as it is finally driven out. A couple more SCVs going down as they return to mining just slightly too early. The siege tank will have to be repaired before TBA goes out for a real assault, unless he doesn't care about the health of his tanks. Which is... sometimes timings matter more than your unit health. But I don't think he's gunning for any particular timing at the moment. The third base is complete for both players, but Dust is not yet in orbital. Supply advantage is in favor of TBA, as his macro has been less hindered, shall we say. And that tank has been repaired, so nothing too interesting. And I think this is really just kind of that Diamond 1 versus Master 2 difference in, like, it's the same build, and TBA has been getting slightly more done in his macro behind the engages. Like, the engages seem to go fairly even. Maybe Dust even gets more damage at some points, but we're just kind of seeing that, oh, very nice. Very nice Raven control. These medevacs are batted away quite quickly. Interference matrix paying dividends. Saving Dust a lot of headache, but it has worn off now, and this drop is still going to unload with 2 Marines and 3 tanks. Wow, what a funny harass force. Huh. There's like nothing to support these tanks. So like I feel like Dust could just pick up Interference Matrix one of the tanks and route this. Okay, TBA is going to evacuate. And Dust actually is going to go for a drop of his own now. It may look pretty similar. Kind of swinging around to hit the same location, more or less. Sensor tower should be up before this drop arrives, though, so that should be nice for TBA. He should spot it before it does anything. Viking is here as well, so... Okay. Dust sees that the sensor tower is up. And okay, Dust is going to boost past the view, but he does lose a medevac, and ooh, that's very painful. He is gonna unload all the same, but now TBA is in position, and he will get at least 3 SCVs for his troubles, but I don't think that was a worthwhile trade for Dust. Maybe not the extension he wanted. And supply advantage is now clearly in favor of TBA. Dust is going to try and make something happen now that he's kind of forced to retaliate. Like before, it was an even game, mostly. Slight advantage to TBA just for better macro and whatnot. But now, like, you know, I wish Dust would just go home, actually. Like, I understand he feels that he needs to, but his 4th is up. Whereas, but he doesn't know what we know, right? He could if he scanned both locations, but that would be like 270 minerals that he doesn't want to spend right now. He does scan to find the army, learns that the rocks have been knocked down. I don't feel like... Oh, those are some nice interference matrices. It's not gonna affect anything here, because, like, TBA just waits it out, but, I mean, it buys Dust time. Buys him time to set up his army on this sledge here so that he can engage from either side. TBA is actually going to get a nice surround and clean up everything that Dust has at this forward location. Dust is now in a world of trouble. He's down quite a bit in supply. Air superiority also goes to TBA, so that will force additional scans out of Dust in order to get the vision for his tanks. Quite worried for Dust this game. Oh, he's gonna lose a tank. Well, actually, it's not free, but it looked like it was gonna be free. But his back tank line does clear all the Marines, and suddenly Dust has the counterattack potential. He's getting the tanks! He got all but 3 of the tanks in that cleanup. And suddenly, that vast army supply for TBA has dwindled to 5 lead. I mean, that's nothing. The game is even again. From supply, anyhow. Production is... There's more production for TBA, so he's gonna pull ahead again now that his barracks are cranking out a lot of Marines. Dust is gonna set up again on the perimeter of this vision of TBA. What do we call sensor tower vision? And this is gonna pull TBA back. Dust is gonna extend in, try and get some damage. Tanks are coming back for TBA, and Dust will have to respect that. His 1 tank is extended a little bit too far forward, and will die to the 2 tanks of TBA. We're back at that 40 supply advantage for TBA as his macro, like, he just can produce more. And now his planetary is under threat, and Dust is way out of position for this one. He's going to repair this planetary, but it will fall. And now he's going to lose a bunch of SCVs. This may be too much for Dust. Oh, this is unfortunate. He's trying to come around for a flank, but only gets one tank for his troubles. And there's no tanks to defend here. Another 38 SCVs go down for Dust. Wow, okay. The main of Dust is floating out, and Dust is coming back, and he will clean up this force, but man, he's lost a lot. TBA is still nearly maxed as he's been reinforcing behind all of this. I think he lost this fourth too. I'm not sure when. Or maybe he never lost it. Maybe. I think I'm crazy. How many? One planetary, one orbital. Yeah, so it just was never built. Dust's plan was always to move his main over to that location. That was the plan all along. Oh, upgrade lead. Good catch, whoever. Up. Dang it. Great observing. And TBA is going to clean up everything that Dust has there. And Dust will tab out. Upgrades. You're right, Fluffy. Upgrades. I mean, the macro was another thing, too. He just remaxed so fast. Or, I mean, it wasn't like a full remax, but like most. Okay, our next map is going to be Lost and Found. Okay, players are ready. We'll get underway. Oh no. I mean, they really use the same build, and for the most part, the point of deviation was probably, I would say Dust got a Raven and TBA went for a Viking. That was the earliest point of deviation. And then after that, it was just like better overall macro for TBA with the upgrades and production cycles. At any rate, let's introduce these players. Taking the first game, representing Europe, it is TBA. And in the top right, as the Red Terran, representing North America, it is Dust. SCV scout coming out. Maybe this is not a scout. No, I don't think this is a scout. I think TBA has decided to change this up. I don't think he wants to play such a long game. What proxy is this going to be? Cyclones? Or is this a starport? Huh? Okay, we're going to start with that factory. We'll see what comes of it. So, TBA is shaking it up. Now that he has an idea of what Dust likes to do, he's thinking this is a at least a pressure build, if not a cheese, that may benefit him. But oh, that is very unfortunate. Look at that. He almost goes and scouts it, but it is one hex off. Oh, that. When Dust looks at this replay, he is going to be very upset. Oh, man. Yes, the worst of all proxies, the proxy supply depot. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna start with these two Hellions, what am I talking about? Cyclones! And they're gonna be here a little bit faster than I think Dust is anticipating. Nice KDR charge, going to ensure the kill on that, whatchamacallit, Cyclone. And second Cyclone will come out. F to pay respects. Cyclone from Dust is gonna have to run away, as doesn't have a whole lot. It's just that one Cyclone. He's gonna pull some SCVs to deal with it. And we are gonna see the Liberator now. So it's very similar, but it's this like slight tweak. And man, barely not getting that Cyclone is really gonna throw a wrench in things for Dust. He will get the SCV though, so okay. With the Liberator, he taps out, I think. Oh, okay. That was a doozy. Oh man, that was rough. Okay, Callus will be our next map. Let's see, what is still in the running? If we vetoed Darkness and Redshift, then there's still Dreamcatcher. It may not matter. Catalyst, Dreamcatcher. We did Acid Plant. We did. Oh no, we haven't done Acid Plant. That's what it is. I'm going nuts. Alright, well. Spawning in the top left as the orange Terran, it is TBA. And in the bottom right as the red Terran, it is Dust. What is this SCV doing? Okay. Now the shoe is on the other foot, as they say. Gonna see the proxy barracks. I think, I get the feeling Dust has not practiced this before, but I don't think he is going to invest more than just the Reaper. I'm not sure. Or Reapers, I should say. I think he's gonna, like, invest no more than 3 Reapers on this proxy, yeah. And I think the rest of his buildings will be at home. Oh no! We have... Is this proxy Cyclone? Huh. Okay, Dust. See, the reason why this surprises me is, generally speaking, Dust likes to find one build for each matchup, and just work on that one build. So, like, we've seen him have a lot of success going toe-to-toe with his last 2 opponents, and really execute that one build well. Just kind of making those small tweaks in what he sees. But now he's gonna change it up considerably and go for this proxy Cyclone, and we'll see what exactly he can get done with it. Oh, he's gonna pull the SCVs. Yep. This is gonna get interesting really fast. But 2 Cyclones will be out for TBA at a reasonable time. No, actually, it feels like TBA knows what's coming. He's not on for the Reapers that he's... Wait, he's doing the same thing, is why. He's just not proxying it. Okay, this is, okay, both players may be losing a lot of SCVs real fast here. And, TVA knows exactly what's up. He's gonna find some awkwardness in this game. He's gonna try and go up the ramp, I think, or is he gonna come home? Okay, he does clean up these Cyclones and SCVs. Now he's gonna put on the counter aggression. I think Dust is dead. We'll see. He's not getting the service area that he needs. He's losing way too many SCVs. Yeah, I think the proxy killed him. I think proxying his stuff killed him. Yeah, 24 workers. That's gonna be game. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, that will conclude the finals. The upsets stop here. Um, so, GG's. Good games to both players. Well done, well done. And that concludes this. Let me see if there are any quick announcements for you guys. Tomorrow we'll be having the VTL Week 7 match. It will be our last VTL match of the season. And provided we win that, we will make it to playoffs. And then next week, Saturday, same time as it was today, but on Saturday of next week, so not this coming Saturday, but the week after, will be the MVP Cup, and that will be for all players of all leagues. And yeah, that concludes today's show. I'll catch you guys next time.